Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about Lords of Waterdeep. Lords of Waterdeep is a worker placement game set in the Dungeons & Dragons universe, and is one that I like quite a bit, so let's see how it translates to iOS. A worker placement game is a game where you have several spaces on a board that give you different goods or allow you to take different actions. You have a certain number of workers, or in this game called agents, that you place on these spots each turn. In this game, as soon as you place those agents, you take the action. This is important to know when you're deciding in what order to do things. Now, once another player has moved to a certain spot, that generally eliminates you from playing there as well, except in a few cases here where you see the same spot may have more than one location. The Waterdeep takes this mechanic further, adding in intrigue cards, which allow you to take certain special actions. You also have quest cards, so all these colored cubes that you're getting, which represent different heroes in the Dungeons & Dragons universe, are used to complete these recipes or quests that will give you points. So it's a lot like a traditional Euro game with a D&D theme. You take different units and then you play them to score points. You also have a Lord, which allows you to focus on certain types of quests that will give you bonus points at the end of the game. As the game progresses, players will build additional buildings, which give additional spots for your workers to be placed. You also can complete quests, as you see here, by paying the full cost. Once you've completed it, you score points, and your pawn will be moved on the point track on the outside of the board. As you can see, Lords of Waterdeep takes a very literal take on bringing a board game to iOS. The board is almost full size, and the point tracker is often out of your view, so you need to stretch around to see where everyone is. You can also look at the player's icon to see where they are as well, since there's a number next to their player color. Apart from this, though, there are a lot of nice touches. There's animations in the background of the map, which are very interesting, as well as a nice summary of the quests in your tableau, which make things easier to access. Online play is what you come to expect from Playdeck. It's using their general login, so if you've played any of their other games, you'll be able to use that here. You can play with friends, you can create games, you can play with random strangers through quick games. There's definitely a lot you can do here, and of course there's a ranking based on how you perform in games, if you drop out, and those sorts of considerations. Because this is a worker placement game, the head-to-head game isn't necessarily where it's meant to be, so you definitely will want to find a few friends so you can play a game of 3 or more. At least that's my recommendation. Apart from online, you can of course play against AI and have multiple games running at the same time. This game also features the ability to have different profiles, so if you share an iPad in the same household, you can have different profiles allowing you to play and record your scores differently. Apart from this, there is a tutorial, a very lengthy tutorial that's split into different parts. This definitely helps you if you're an experienced player and just forgot some certain sections. You can just watch those. And then you also have things such as a card gallery and links to other playdeck games, which fall under the generally board game genre. For us at iOS Board Games, the playdeck game is generally a big deal, and this is no exception. The combination with Wizards was very exciting, and we're glad to see Lords of Waterdeep on iOS. For me personally, I love Lords of Waterdeep, but I don't get it to the table nearly often enough, and I love this ability to play against AI or online, allowing me to play the game a lot more often. So far, the online play has been great. There have been a few drop notifications that I didn't get. However, this may be due to the early game center's setup or other things that just have to do with the early play. But otherwise, the online play has been great. The AI seems challenging at the various levels. Of course, I'm not a pro at this game, but there definitely is a lot of challenge there. I think they made a ton of great, smart UI choices. As you can see here, your player tableau has a lot of information in it, and the summary is great. The summary of the other players is also very useful and allows you to quickly see where they stand and what you need to watch out for on their end. There's one thing that I'm not too fond of about Lords of Waterdeep. I think it's an excellent game. However, I think that they failed in one respect, and that is presentation of the game board and the game state. The game board mirrors almost exactly the tabletop version of the game with added animations, which are nice. However, because it's so zoomed out, there's a lot of wasted space on the iPad, and I wish they would have kind of tweaked the design to fit on the iPad. Now, those that are very fond of the board game, you'll have exactly what you expect to see on your tabletop, and that's probably really great, and something I'm sure Wizards was going for in connecting this to the product that you can buy for your tabletop. For me, I wish it had been more edited and innovated on for iOS, and is a slight fly in the ointment in this otherwise excellent game. That being said, I don't mind too much the panning and zooming that I have to do, and really do enjoy the game. It's an excellent way to play Lords of Waterdeep, which I think is one of, well, perhaps light worker placement games, but definitely one of the better worker placement games I've ever played. Lords on Waterdeep is definitely a high recommendation. Would almost be a total recommendation if it weren't for its adherence too closely to the literal board game representation. But if you're a fan of worker placement games or the D&D universe, this is definitely a must pick up. So if you like Playdeck's other games, it's pretty guaranteed that you'll enjoy this one as well.